If you're trying to create a new experience in your reality or trying to manifest anything in your life, you must first be in the right structure and create the right tension. Hey, my name is Anthony L. Williams, and this is Mindset for Greatness TV. Remember, it's a paradigm shift. Now let's get right into it. Now, most of us were born into the problem-solving structure. What do I mean by the problem-solving structure? The problem-solving structure is that you have a problem and you try to solve it, right? For instance, we have a war on drugs, we have a war on crime, we have a war on terrorism, but have you noticed that everything that we have a war on seems to persist? It never ends, right? Because the reason is that whatever you observe, like I spoke about in my prior videos, you observe it into reality. If you are focusing on your problems, you're actually giving it power, right? So this is you right here. You have an intended reality you're looking for, and you have a default reality, right? No, you don't want a default reality. You want your intended reality, right? But you're focused on what's going on here right now. You're focused on what you don't want. So now when you focus on what you don't want, you create a feeling right here, and you start working on yourself to solve it. I have to solve this, right? I don't want this. Now when you focus on this, and then you try to go for your intended reality, you don't get it, right? Because you're in the wrong structure. Now, there are different structures. There are structures that keep you stuck, which is like if you have a metal building and you try to push on it, it's not going anywhere, right? That's a stuck structure, right? Now, if you take that same metal and you create a giant pendulum of the metal and you push on it, it'll go back and forth. That's an oscillating structure. That's when you focus on the problem solving structure, right? You create that structure, and now you're going for what you're going for, but you're not getting it. The more you push, the more it pushes back. The more you push, the more it pushes back. And the thing about the pendulum is that it goes back and forth. And when you start pushing, you end up right back where you were in the beginning, right? So that doesn't work. Then you have the flowing structure, right? This is metal ship. You take that same metal and you create a ship with it, with a rudder, the engine, and you have the captain navigating, and you go straight towards the goal, right? So that's a flowing structure, right? So we have three types of structures. We have the stuck structure, and what's going to create the stuck structure is you're focusing on what you don't want, or you're focusing on too many things at the same time. So let's say you have a rubber band, right? And this is you right here. And you have a rubber band pulling this direction, one pulling in this direction, one pulling in that direction, one pulling in that direction, right? It's pulling in 4 different directions. You don't have a focus. You're trying to focus on too many things at the same time, and you're not going anywhere. Right? Then we have the oscillating structure, right? The oscillating structure now is that you're focusing on what you don't want. You first put your focus on what you don't want, and every time you try to go for what you want, the default reality, the intended reality, every time you try to go for the intended reality, you go and you come right back, right? You go and you come right back. That's like the pendulum. You're pushing, you're using force to try and get what you want because you're concentrating on the default reality, what you have right now, what you don't want, and you're trying to push it with your will, trying to make, and then after, as soon as you relax, it come right back. And what's going to happen, like the pendulum, you're going to end up right back where you started. Now, every structure has 4 parts to it, right? You have your desired, your default reality, you have your default reality, you have your intended reality, you have an identity. You actually have more than one identity. But right now, I'm saying you have an identity, and you also have an action that you need to take, right? So the problem is this identity and that identity, these 2 identities, does not equal each other. The default reality, right, and the intended reality does not equal each other either, but they're not supposed to. These 2 are not supposed to equal each other, but the identity, these 2 identities must match in order for you to get what you want, right? So how do you accomplish this? No, I'm teaching this because we're about to enter some serious times here. I don't know if you see how the world is going. And you're going to need to know the workings of the mind and how to get what you want. Right? What's supposed to happen is you have you here again. Do not think that this, the intended reality, is better than your default reality. You must not think this. Right? You must accept your default reality. You have to accept this. Accept your default reality. Right? Do not put no focus on your default reality. Put your focus first on your intended reality. Right? And set out to create it just because you want to have it. Not because you're trying to solve this. Right? Because if you go down here trying to solve this, next 5, 10 years, you'll be still trying to solve it. And this is still out somewhere, non-obtainable. Right? So, like I said, put your focus here and just go for what you want. Right? Now, once you be it, you have to be this now, right? You don't focus on this, you be this now. Once you be this now, then both identities match, right? You don't say, I don't like this, and this is going to be better, right? Both identities must match. Because if both identities does not match, now you have a conflict of this reality conflicting with the default reality, ID. And if they conflict, you will not get what you want. Now, the thing is that most people end up feeling comfortable right here. But this is your comfort zone. And your subconscious mind doesn't know if you could survive this right here. So every time you go for it, you want to come back. But I promise you, if you focus on this, and then go for that, that would put you in the creative structure and the creative tension, right? Because structure has integrity and tension will pull you in the direction of where you want to go. Think of this as like you have a bow and arrow, you put your goal in the arrow, in the bow, you create tension, and then it shoots towards your reality that you're going for, right? You must get this. You must get this. A river follows the structure of the river banks, right? Wherever the bank is, the river will flow. The river is not going to flow off to the left when the bank is going to the right, right? So that's why structure has integrity. And energy, just like the water, seeks the path of least resistance. When you create the tension by looking at where you're going, then looking at where you're at, you must look at where you're going first. You create a vacuum, right? And nature upholds a vacuum. There's no empty spaces. If you see a hole outside and there's nothing in it, there's something in it, but you just can't see it. But when you go back, you will see physical stuff in it, like leaves, stones. You might even trip your ankle in there. You can put something in it, right? So nature upholds a vacuum. That's why when you create the right tension by looking at this first, then looking at where you're at, now it creates a feeling of, I want to be here, but I'm here. And it takes you towards your goal, and it pulls your goal towards you, right? It's like having a rubber band. You stretch the rubber band, and it seeks to resolve itself, right? The tension want to resolve itself in the middle, right? So you go towards it, and it goes towards you, right? If you stretch the rubber band in 4 different ways, it's not going anywhere. That's a stuck structure, right? If you put the energy here and you're not sure where you want to go, it'll come right back, right? But if you look at where you're going, observe where you are now, then you create that tension of, I'm not where I'm supposed to be, and head towards your intended reality. I hope this helps you. Like, subscribe, and share that others may benefit from my videos. Be your best self. Anthony Williams, out.